I was born and raised in Midland, Texas. I'm a fourth-generation oil man, obviously been from the Permian Basin. That's the nature of the beast out there. I just got done spending the last 6 years in the Midland City Council and representing the west and northwest side of Midland, Texas, and serving my hometown, which was a great opportunity and just been a real blessing. And when this seat kind of came open, I had filed to run for re-election for my third term on the City Council. And after Congressman Conaway made his announcement, I talked to a lot of people, a lot of prayer. I kept asking God to throw a brick on my head, telling me this was a bad idea. My mom asked if my head needed to be examined, but everybody's been supportive. God kept telling me to push forward. Everybody else was real supportive of it, so we withdrew our application to run for City Council, and then on August 8th, I was the first to announce that I was going to run for Congressman Conaway's seat. Well, when you look at the issues, especially at District 11, and it's an extremely conservative district, which mirrors my beliefs, and I just really think that we need a fighter in Washington, D.C., someone that's not willing to back down from the radical left and the AOCs and Nancy Pelosi's that want to continue to attack our freedoms and liberties, and I thought I was an individual to do that. On the City Council, I got a lot of experience on the local government level, but I think our federal government's broken. I think that we need to have individuals that want to lower the size of government, not continue to grow it, bring the power back to the states like the 10th Amendment says, and just really be what our founding fathers wanted us to do. I think we're getting away from that, especially as we see more agencies, more, just ways to continue to expand the size of the federal government, and that's not the intent of it. The intent was to have a federal government that's limited government, and the states had all the power. Well, we've completely gotten away from that. I think we need to get back to our Constitution and start fighting for that. Well, right now we've got to get the wall built. As we continue to see crimes and drugs flood our southern border, it's time that we put a wall in place, and that's a physical barrier in some areas. That's also going to be using technology in the lower and the more sparse areas that we can see individuals that are coming across. We're seeing human trafficking at unbelievable heights. All these communities in District 11 are talking about how meth is starting to get even more and more prominent in these communities, and they're worried about it. And they want to shut it down. Will the wall stop everything? Absolutely not, but it'll stop down the good majority of it. After we get the wall built, we've got to increase our border security. And now we've got to give ICE, Border Patrol, local law enforcement the tools and resources necessary to do their job. Currently, we're tasking them with doing a job that they don't have the resources in place. And that's just wrong. The state of Texas spends $800 million on border security. That's a federal international border. That is a federal issue, not a state issue. We need to let the state of Texas keep their money, put it towards infrastructure, and go do our job. After we get the border secure, we got to do immigration reform. Individuals that want to come into this country legally should not have to go through a 5 to 10 year process to go through all of it, when individuals that cross here illegally get free health care, free education, all on the back of the American taxpayer. Individuals that are coming here doing it the right way are being punished, and that's just not right. I'm not saying we expedite it to a 30-day procedure. We need to do our proper vetting and make sure individuals coming here share our values and who we want here in America. But we've got more jobs available today than we got workers. That's a testament to President Trump and the economy and how we're continuing moving forward. Historic lows in unemployment, not only in the state of Texas, but across this country. We're putting America back to work, but we need more workers. I've got individuals from my company, from my oilfield service company, that are here on the guest worker visa program, and it's a great program. They pay taxes, they're contributing members of society, usually send the majority of their money home to their families back in Mexico, but they're hard workers. We need more people like that to come across here, of course, and from Mexico to come in here and help us. And so that's a huge issue. I want to be a strong defender of the Second Amendment. I continue to see our Second Amendment infringed upon every day by the liberal left as they continue to come after it. I don't support red flag laws. I think it's a violation of your Second and Fourth Amendment. Your right to due process gives the court system too much power to take away your rights as a law-abiding citizen. I don't support an AR-15 ban. I own one. I use it to hunt hogs at my ranch down South Texas. We call it a great hog eradication tool. I don't support comprehensive background checks. We've got a system in place. It works. What we don't need is more laws in the books when we don't enforce the ones we have. Every time we have a horrible situation like we did back in Odessa, Texas, with the mass shooting where the individual was just driving around aimlessly shooting people, putting more gun control in place is not going to stop that issue. That was a mental health issue. That individual was mentally disturbed, and it was actually started seeing signs of it back in 2007 in Amarillo, Texas, when he threatened to kill himself, then kill his mother, and none of that got reported. And they didn't get him on that, and that's what the issue. But every time that we see one of these incidents that we had in in Odessa and El Paso, we hear just more gun control. But what we're not talking about is the 63+ million babies that have been killed through abortion since 1973. That's the true tragedy here in America. That's what we need to go for. I'm unapologetic in my pro-life stance. It's my faith. I was born and raised in First First Baptist Church there in Midland, Texas. And those are just some of the principles that I want to go fight for and fight for the residents of District 11. First, we got to take the House back. And I think with President Trump on the agenda in 2020 that the Republicans will take the majority back, and then we can go back to governing. Because right now with the Democrats in control, all they want to do is just keep doing these shams of impeachment hearings, investigations. The Democrats have issued more subpoenas than bills passed since they've taken control of the House back. So first we got to win the House back. And then on the border security, we need to do an appropriation bill, fund the wall, and fund put the funding in place to secure the border. It is critical that we secure our border. You know, that they've got a saying in Texas, good fences make good neighbors. And right now we just don't have that. And so once we get that taken care of, then we can start moving forward and then looking for bipartisan solutions on immigration reform. It's going to be a huge issue to tackle, but I'm willing to work with anybody that wants to, because I believe that we need to have a good, sound 21st century system in place. Some other issues I'd like to see happen when we take it back is make the individual tax cuts from 2017 permanent. Most people don't realize it was only for 5 years, but the corporate tax rate was permanent. So we need to go and make sure get that permanent and continue to allow the American taxpayer to keep more of their money in their pocket and out of the government's hands. Good luck. So we're in it to win it. I was the first to announce for a reason. We were the first to visit all 29 counties. We're showing the people of District 11 we're serious about this, that we're serious about being your representative. I'm not going to speak ill about the other 9 running. We're all Republicans. We all are fighting to continue our conservative values, but I think I've got the formula to win it, and I've got the hard work ethic and the conservative values and the experience to represent individuals in Washington, D.C. I mean, it's a swamp, and we need more people to pull that drain and drain the swamp as much as possible, and to stand with President Trump. We don't need individuals up there that just want to say they are going to and not. He needs fighters. He needs people to help him, because he's being attacked from all sides, and he's being attacked sometime within our own party. And what he's doing for this country has been great, and he needs more fighters. I've got the experience and the work ethic and the conservative values to be your fighter in Washington, D.C.